everyone, and welcome to the Ready Player Pete show. And today I'm making a review, making a character review of the Walking Dead season games. Here are the list here are the list of characters. The like, hate, worst, useless, not prepared, and who is your who is your most evil villains. Before we start, well, I would like to introduce to my guest James, but I'm gonna be doing it for him, but until the next video or so. Um, but 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 because I'm going to review the list of the characters of the Walking Dead season 1 game. First up, first up on the list, I'm gonna review is the like characters. Okay, here we go, and let's get started. Number 1 on the like list is Lee. Lee Everett. He is a very likable character. He is a character that he wants to get back home to his family, and he wants to know that he's really bad for himself, that he committed a crime on his way on the way back home. And ever since the police car crashed, and then he hurt his leg, he met Clementine, and then he tried all his life to protect Clem throughout his journey, and he always be there for Clem anytime and anywhere, when he always do anything at his best to keep her alive. Because Lee is always be a very kind man. He's always very nice to everybody, to the group, because he's always very want to give everyone hope. He never give up, and he always pull everyone together and let the group stay together, because he always tries his best to keep everyone safe and keep on moving on. There's someplace better if someplace isn't safe forever. And now, number 2 on the like list is Clementine. She's a nice and sweet little girl. She's 8 years old, and she wants to get to know about the world more, and she wants to know if she wants to know how to survive, like how to shoot a gun, and how to keep her hair short, how to keep on moving some other different places they are safe. And then she has really good advices from Lee, that when Lee taught her how to survive, because it's like a father and daughter relationship between her and him. And it's also like, when I look it up, it's like that Lee is starting to become her mentor, like taught her how to survive. And after when she's been taught how to shoot a gun, that she and also to cut her, and also Lee has to cut her hair to make it safe. So if it's a zombie, it's about to grab her hair. If like when Lee gets mad back at the St. John Dairy, when Andy grabbed her hair, if it's a zombie who grabs her hair, then we have to make it safe. So, and now number 3 is a really nice man named Kenny. Kenny, he's a really nice guy. He's a very big mechanic, and and also to that, he's a commercial fisherman. He catch like I don't know, like fish or a dolphin, whoever he catch. He got a boat, and he is a bit of he's a bit off whatever who agrees or disagrees with him. And he's just probably got a bit of a struggle, and a struggle that he's always doesn't like everybody to disagree with him on his plan, like getting on his boat with no destination, because every time he gets upset, he gets gets a bit angry about things. But the thing is, if you side with him throughout the whole time, he'll be your best friend, because he'll be your best friend throughout the whole time if you still agree with him and alongside with him and follow his plan as well. And he'll be much more appreciated if you follow him, because if you think that Kenny always gonna do the right thing, because I, for one, I always agree with Kenny and I follow his plan, because I believe Kenny is really a good guy, because I really like him. I really like him when he pursued his plan. He's really a good guy. And the next on the like list is his own wife Katya. She's really a kind woman, and what I like about her, that she's really she knows how to patch up everyone's injuries. She said that she's a veterinarian back before Waterdale, and she's like Herschel, like more like she likes dogs and cats, but not horses. She always liked and also the other thing about her is I like when she understands things, that when Lee is trying to explain he's a committed felon, but she completely understands anything that she and Kenny still worries about their family and such, but they probably gladly she understands things that when Lee is explaining, but she's really fond of anything like that. She's very kind and nice. And now the next on the like list is Kenny Jr., also known as Duck. But it is the same name as his own name is Kenny, but Kenny Jr., known as Duck, is Katya and Kenny's son. But he's a very nice boy. He's a really nice kid, one of a kind, and he's like to make friends with Clementine. And what I like about him, he's probably not really a natural kid. He's likes to play around, and I like him when he's coloring with Clem in the motor inn in the hotel, outside the motel, and I like when I defended Kenny's son, because when Larry's trying to throw him out of the store, because Larry thinks he's bitten, because I mean Duck is not bitten, he's just covered in filth by a zombie when Carly shot him. I mean, not shot him, but nearly. But it's like he shot a zombie, but. She shot a zombie, but it's nearly almost had him. But Carly's quite shot. But anyways, he luckily survived. But the saddest thing about him is that he got bitten during a raid with some bandits that when they attacked the motor inn. But the sad thing is that he's close to dying. Then we have no choice if whoever's gonna put him out of his misery and to take him to the woods and put him out of his misery. But I'm sorry, Duck. I wish you there's more time to keep you alive. I'm sorry, man. And next on the like list is we all know this guy. We see him in the game, and now we saw him on the show. His name is Glenn. He's really a nice guy, and he's a very sneaky one. Like he said so in the show. Like he said, like he's on the task, like in and out, grab a few things, no problem. That's why he wants to be a sneaky scavenger. Like. He's a kind of sneaky scavenger, because he just sneaks in, grab a few things when zombies are inside the place without being seen, and whenever he grab a few things he has, and head back and sneak back out and head back to the group as fast as he could. He's very a sneaky guy. I really like about him, I really like about him on the show as well, because he's very awesome. But I'm very disappointed on the show, because he get killed off. I'm very disappointed that he get killed off in the show, but but what I wish in the game, I wish he can stay. I wish he could stay in the game, but that he has to go to Atlanta to save his friends. But if he's gonna do, he's gonna do. Well, gonna have to wish you luck, Glenn, and stay safe. And and the next on the like list is this woman named is, or she's a very good shot, and her name is Carly. Carly, she's a very big-hearted, nice, kind woman. That she's a news reporter for the WABE at Atlanta, and what I like about it is she likes to defend Lee and defend Lee to and help Lee with his problem because Larry knows because she thinks that Larry knows that Lee's a convicted murderer, but somehow it's good. Somehow I like when Lee talks to Carly because Carly is a really nice person to talk to. Because she really tells truths and she and she has really good advices to Lee. And yeah, like for my opinion, what if Lee will be a father to Clem and Carly will be a new mother to Clem. Like it's like it'll be a new family reunion. Like that would be much more interesting. But what I like about her is she's a good shot. She has a good shot when she knows how to handle herself pretty well with her gun. And last but not least about her, I can't believe that she's gone by Lily because that's the end of Carly for that. Because Carly's talking tough at Lily because Lily had enough with her. But I can't believe with the surprised look on my face. I like look what Lily just did to Carly. I can't believe that Lily just did it. But I'm gonna miss you, Carly. And the next on the like list is Mark. He is in the episode 2 of the game. He's a really nice guy. He's part military like Lily, but he likes to help out the group and he understands whoever's feelings and he likes to help out people and try to let them join the group more. Who's out there to survive. Like they're trying to help Mr. Parker, Travis, and Ben out there, but somehow the walkers came in and everything went chaos. But but as you see, Mark, he's really good with when he's having a sniper rifle in the middle of the woods when him and Lee are walking in the woods looking for food because it's been 3 months. They probably want food, and ever since at the dairy, when he got shot with an arrow on his back when the bandits are come out of the woods when they're at the dairy, and he got major pain, major pain from the arrow. And after after Lee and Mark's escape from the bandits, they they took Mark into the house of the St. John's house to bring him inside. But Mark was thinking to take the arrow out on his back, but that's not a good idea. But Lee got suspicions about the St. John's, but I'll get to the St. John's later on. But we're not on the villains list yet. But Mark, the death of Mark, he's probably got his legs chopped off. But we'll get to that part. We'll get to that part later on on the villains list. On the villains list there. But that will probably be the part of Mark. But we'll get to the part where how did he get his legs chopped off of that, and also the death of him. So yeah, that's what he is now. He's a good guy. And next on the like list is Charles Chuck. that when Lee and the group first met him on the boxcar on the bandit train, he's he's a really he's a really kind of guy. He's like, I'm a grandpa. My name's Chuck Charles, if you fancy. But yeah, I know it's just funny, and it's also and also what I like about Chuck is that he's funny, and when he says after when he first met Lee on the boxcar, is when I thought I'm like gonna scare the pants off of you, but I'll force myself to do it. Scare the pants out of Lee, like if like that he means that he's scared that he's scaring Lee out, that he probably thinks that Chuck thinks that Lee is touching his stuff inside the boxcar, but he's probably told him the truth. But I choose that I told him the truth. I took the map with the train routes that leads to Savannah, but and then Chuck, what I like about him, I like when he plays his guitar, when he plays his guitar, and Clementine likes to listen to the guitar music when he plays his guitar when he sits down. Because I like what Chuck said, that while he's playing his guitar, that he looks at Clem, that he thinks that Clementine has a good spirit. Because when he says that you have a couple of kids, but this one's got a good spirit, and when he means Clem, that he got a good spirit. And in the city of at Savannah, when an unknown person is sneaked into the bell tower, ring the bell, but how can it be like how can the church bell can probably go off twice past the hour? But suddenly, what I like about Chuck is that when the walker, when Ben froze up, like he feels like he froze up, and then he runs away, and then they'll let the walkers get her, but Ben didn't help her. But we'll get to Ben later. But right now, that Chuck is when Lee runs up and say no, like no, and then Chuck saved Clem. But that's what I like it. I like it when he saves Clem from the walker. And the last but not least about Chuck, that his death, he's hiding in the sewers. That the walkers, known as the zombies, they definitely eat him up. And for the revolver that he's trying to shoot him down, he saved the last bullet for himself. But you deserve better, old man. Because you're a good man, and you help us so much, and you've been through a lot. And Lee and the group thanks you for what you've been a great service. And for the next on the list, list is this woman named Krista. She is a very adventurous spirit woman. That she's also to like a girlfriend or a wife to Omid. She's an adventurous that she'll let to like give everyone hope, or don't trust anyone who is speaking on the radio wants to help Clem to find her parents. But she's pretty much like questions and answers. Like she's just getting nervous of who might be stalking us, like who's stalking the group, and who is following and knowing and listening to our plan. Then she's getting curious, but she's not a lot nervous. She's just got 100% curious. But I like when she's keeping Omid alive. But she's most worried about Omid when to get a medicine to make him feel better when Omid is fully hurt. So Krista is always there for everybody, but she always be much more supportive. So yeah, what I like about her, I like her when she's very supportive. She's very supportive indeed. That's why I like what I like about her when she's very supportive. And now next on the list, on the like list is the last is on this Omid. Omid, he's a I really like him. He's really a calm, really a nice and calm guy, and he always smiles. That he likes to meet everybody. He likes to meet everybody, and he likes to cheer everybody up. And he doesn't give up on you, and he's always stood up for you, and he always respects you a lot. And he's really a nice guy, and he's a boyfriend or a husband to Krista, and it's funny it's funny when he says that he saves Krista like hundreds, tens, sometimes. that and also and also Omid and Lee are getting interest. They like war history. They know war history. They know war history about together, and what I like about Omid that he also likes to be around with everybody. And he's so happy that he see a kid. When he sees a kid, that means he can't believe he sees Clementine. He says, when I see him in the store, he said, "Do you know how long since I haven't seen a kid?" Because he haven't seen a kid for a long time, and because if he sees a kid, he sees Clem. So that's a big surprise that I see him. That's what I like about him, that he's a nice guy. Yeah, you're a nice guy, Omid. That's what I like about you, because you're a real good man. And now, that's probably the like list. And now for the next, the next list is the hate characters. Now, there are two of them that I put on my list that I probably the hatred characters. But if you probably think if you really agreed, if you agree or you have any other opinion, if you do agree. So on the first, the usual, I always put him on the first. On the hate characters, his name is Larry. He is the most probably hatred character, because he's always grumpy, gets angry, and gets upset, and he threatens the group, and he always push around everyone that everyone is not good and they're not trusted, and they gotta quit their complaining. But Larry needs to give them a break. And also he has to give Lee a break, because Larry knows that Lee is a convicted murderer, and he knows he's a killer, and because he knows about Lee's past, because he knows that Lee killed someone in the past before the apocalypse is about ever started before. But Larry, he fully never trusted Lee, because all he cares about is his daughter Lily. He only cares about is his daughter. But exactly and what I don't like about him is that he don't give Lee a chance to prove himself. He didn't prove himself to impress him and to put up with him, to give him a chance to make him be nice to him, because it's not even right. Because he's, like Lily said, he's been through a lot of pain and he's been through so much. But it's understandable, but he needs to give everybody a chance. And also he's much hatred that he wants to throw Duck out of the store. And he's threatening that he wants to smash his head in it, that he thinks that Duck is bitten, that ever since they got into the store. And then Kenny stood up and he wants to defend his family, and then also, well, mostly he wants to defend Duck, his own son. But if I were the players, I prefer that I'll be loyalty to Kenny to defend his son, because I don't want to side with Larry, because Larry he's a bit of a he's a bit of woo because he's totally out of his mind because he picked the wrong idea and because he's just upsetting Duck that he's bitten. And then like how many times Kenny told Larry to shut up twice. But in the third time that he said shut up the third time in the third episode. But what I hate about Larry is that when they're about to escape the store, Larry punched Lee in the face, but Lee just almost got knocked out. But suddenly I'm glad Kenny came back and then he helped help up Lee and then he helped pick them up and lift them up and then they escape. And then in the ending part of the episode of the first one, I hated when Larry say I know who you are and I don't give it anything that happens to you, but if anything happens to my daughter or that little girl that you brought with you, you watch yourself. Because that's the part that he doesn't give anything about Lee, that if anything happens to Lee. That's the part I don't like about him. And also when he gets mad when I don't give him food. So for the death part, getting to the death part of Larry, they're stuck in the meat locker, and he got a heart attack because there's no way out, there's no choice, because I choose to hell Lily back, and hell Lily back because Kenny grab a salt lick and then he has to toss it and smash his head but because we had to stop Larry from turning, but there's no way. But I'm gonna say bye Larry because we don't want to see your stuff again because we had enough of your hatred and your you're still distrusting Lee that he is not letting himself to improve to be very impressed with you, to try his best to do anything to put up with you. But bye Larry, see you someplace elsewhere. And the next is the second on the hate list is Lily, Larry's own daughter. I gotta say to Lily, she is a very kind character, but as for her, she's pretty much not very much of a leader of the group. She is the leader, but I'm gonna say she's not, because the way she runs things, but she's like, did she become the leader in the second episode? Because like if I choose because Lily wasn't out there while we're saving Mr. Parker and helping Ben and also Travis out in the woods, but when I choose when I say Kenny is right because when Lee say to Lily, yeah, you're in charge of the food and the schedules, but you're not in charge of people's lives. And that's why I like Kenny say, yeah, you weren't there. Lee made a choice. End of story. Yeah, but I say that is right because she is in charge of the food and the schedules, but not in charge of people's lives. And she should have been much more supportive at the store when that they keep Duck alive if Larry's going for his option to kill him if they think Duck is bitten, and pretty much that Larry didn't listen to her when Larry is almost about to get a heart attack, but Lily tried her best over and over to tell him to calm down, but he never listens to her. You tell him to calm down. If he doesn't calm down, then he gets another heart attack. But as for Lily, she I know she's gonna hate Lee and Kenny about it when at the meat locker when they smash Larry's head in from turning, and afterwards she cannot help. And afterwards she cannot help to save Lee from Andy, and during the woods, I choose not to steal food from the station wagon from that car, but because somehow it's not even right. But exactly, Lily gets frustrated in the third episode about the supplies are missing, but she's probably lost it. But she wants because she thinks there's a traitor in the group. But she was right the whole time because, but I'm not gonna say she's wrong, but somehow I think she's not wrong or she is wrong because there's a traitor, but it was traitor out there in the group that is someone's hidden the supplies, but and suddenly she's thinking about lining them up, see who is the traitor of the group, and then after when the bandits after the bandits attacked the motor inn, then on the way to the RV, she's blaming on like if it's Carly or Doug or whoever who I saved in the store, like but Carly, if it's Carly or is it Ben is the blame, like who stashed the supplies hidden outside the wall, and but it's like there's only one person who does, but we'll get to that worst characters shortly. But as for that result, I cannot believe Lily just shot Carly. She's the one. She's so major angry that she's so mad. See the camera getting close to her face when Carly got something to say. Whatever she says to Lily went too far ahead, and see the look on Lily's face that she looks at Carly like that she had enough. And when she took out her gun, and she cannot believe, and then now the lead just can't, and the rest of the group cannot see what they saw. And then after when Lily dropped the gun, when Lee pushed her against the RV, and then suddenly, and what my choice is, let Lily stay behind or get inside the RV. We'll figure out what we'll do with you. But my personal choice is I'll leave Lily behind because I can't believe she shot Carly. She's a very nice woman, and now she's probably gonna be deserved to be leaving the group. But she still has suspicions who's the traitor. But we'll get to that. Now, and after that, we left her on the side of the road. And when the zombie's coming up to her, then she sees the taking off the RV. She turned around, and she sees the zombies coming to her, and then she's about to run away. But it's unknown what happened to Lily. But it's probably the same as murder. So next is on the next list is the worst character. Well, it's just only gonna be one. The worst character is known as this kid named Ben. Ben, he's a really a nice kid, but he gets he's a nice kid, but he's a bit nervous. He's a bit nervous and he gets frightened a little bit, but he's just not even probably prepared to go against walkers, because all he does, he's just like he help out a little. He just only likes to help out, but he doesn't even fight. He doesn't even fight walkers. He just wants to help out. But when he said it's true that it's not the bite that does it. You come back no matter how you die. If you don't destroy the brain, it just so what happens. It's gonna happen to all of us. But that's probably true what he says that, because it's much more. It's much other things to know. It's more than just a bite. That if you to get bitten by a zombie, and he made it, and there's some secretly about Ben that he is the worst because he made the deal with the bandits, the slip supplies, but the whole group didn't notice they're out the entire time. because they never knows throughout the entire time, because Ben, he's trying to secretly helping, but he's trying to keep the group safe. But ever since that he keeps his blame to himself, that something like that. But in the fourth episode he he's just he's hitting the stash in the motor inn under the grate, and then there's some kind of a bag full of meds, and that's how the bandits attack, and then the motor inn, and that's why Lily was right all along. That's why why shouldn't Ben tell the truth if how did they attack and how they attack and Duck got bitten, because Lily was right the whole time. There was a traitor in the group, but the traitor in the group, it was Ben. But Ben was trying to help, but he's not. But he doesn't want. He just wanted to keep the. I mean, it was him, because back at Crawford in the fourth episode, he said he's telling Kenny the truth that who killed Katja and Duck. That. But it was him all along, putting all of us in danger, Katja and Duck. And he said, it's all me. It's all me. And Kenny wants to know, wait a minute. What are you saying? Because it was me who made the deal with the bandits at the border and slipping supplies. I thought I can keep them off our backs. So when they got discovered, that's why they attacked. That's when Duck... And now Kenny after he explained the truth to Kenny, now Kenny lost himself, that he's about to struggle him, but luckily Vernon and Lee hold him down. That Kenny's about to struggle him. But suddenly, because Lily was right all along, that's why he's the worst, because he keeps the blame to himself. That he thinks he did it. That he just wants to keep the group safe and keep the bandits off the group's back. But he's just trying to help. But somehow Ben messed up some things. But he's just a good kid. But somehow it's not easy for him. So now on the next is the villains is on the list. The villains is now the villains is the next one. This is going to be the last. So on the villains list is the first is the Stranger. The Stranger, he's just an unknown man, because in the scene of Lee, Lee digged the trying to bury the grave, and then now that he sees the dog is in the grave, and now after he found the dog, and now they found the boy in the house, and now they found the boy and then they found the boy in the house, and he starved to death, and after they killed the boy up in the attic. But I choose to let Kenny do it. But I choose I don't want Kenny to do it to shoot Duck, but I do it myself, because that'll be heartbreaking for his own father, because he is the father of his own son. But that's his own flesh and blood. But no father couldn't do that. But I choose to let Kenny do it, and then Kenny does, and I help Kenny to send the boy at the attic on his way. And then Lee send the boy downstairs to his grave, and then suddenly, after when he's buried, then someone's behind the gate in the fog. That Lee sees someone that in the fog right behind the gate, but Lee didn't see a clear look to see what it is. And then when the unknown person runs away, and when Lee say, "Hey, who are you? What in the world you want from us?" But suddenly, throughout the entire episode of No Time Left, the 5th episode, that when Lee is bitten, to see how much time he has left to rescue Clementine, he sees the familiar car back at the woods in episode 2 when the whole group stole the food in there. It's the same car that Lee knows, and that's the stranger's car. And when Lee step into the Marsh house and he sees the whole, and it's like some kind of a hotel, and then suddenly, long story short, that the stranger comes right behind him and he has a gun, and there he is. Lee meets the stranger, his own villain. Well, actually, it's like he is a villain, but it is his own villain. But exactly, but suddenly, after Lee and the stranger talked, it's like, and then Clementine opened the door, and then he's looking at when you choose to look at a weapon to choose if you want Clementine to hit the stranger with it. And after when Clem stabbed or hit with the stranger with something, then Lee and the stranger are fighting, and do whatever you can to fight the stranger, because the stranger's plot is to kill Lee and take Clementine with him. Kill Lee and take Clementine. Take Clementine with him, because that's his plot. Yeah, because he thinks because Stranger thinks Lee is a monster. He's a murderer and a thief, and he's gonna hurt him so bad. And after his defeat, if you want to choose to not shoot the stranger, or you do want to shoot him, but I'm sure the stranger, he's much of a steel villain. Like, he wants to kill Lee and take Clementine with him, but pretty much. And next on the list is these are the St. John's from back in the dairy in episode 2. This is but here are the St. John's. But Andrew St. John, he's a kind of a man. He likes to make a trade for fuel for the generators and stuff like that. But they're playing along. But especially that he likes to be so very playing along a bit that he's just he wants to trade for fuel and gas and something like that for the entire property. But something odd is probably up about him, but it's probably something very obvious. Something is a bit suspicious if it is including his own brother brother Danny. But now for the other, I'm going to speak right now. Danny St. John, he's quite of a nice guy, and he's probably likes to enjoy to adventure with Lee to find the bandit camp to see who hurt Mark. But what's creepy about him? That he sits on the log or a stump, that he's holding a sniper that he thinks that when he said to Lee that, "I'm glad I used her today, my girl here, and I choose you really like that gun. What's not to like?" And I choose, it's just a gun. And that's why, and he said to that, and that's what you're wrong. This here Charlotte, she is this little starving hound when you got a bone in your pocket. But and it says, Danny, notice your suspicion, but because something's up with the St. John's, they're probably acting kind of strangely in the middle of that episode too. But something's probably really up. And as for the mother of Andrew St. John and Danny St. John is Brenda St. John. She's a very nice, one-of-a-kind woman, and also a mother of Andy and Danny, because she likes everyone feel welcome to the dairy, and they also like to look around and such, and like to see and help their cow in the barn because their cow is sick. And everything turned out all right, but at night, something went really strange, because something's hiding this, because the St. John's, they are hiding behind their door. Everything's full of blood and everything, a lot of guts, blood and a lot of guts in the jars, and blood, a lot of gut, a lot of blood, a lot of guts in the jars, and because there's a lot of butcher, a lot of because a lot of blood, because there are bunch of butcher people in here, and a lot of blood stain on the floor, and and when I like, man, what's wrong with these people, like like we'll get to the yet, but that's probably suspicion. That's probably like if they get suspicions, we'll get to that right now. That during the dinner, um, we're gonna see Lee is still suspicion about like where's Mark, but when Brenda said, "Don't you worry about him. I already brought food up with him, and you just let him rest." But when Lee go upstairs and sees and opens the bedroom door, like, where the hell is Mark? I thought Brenda said he's up here resting. And when I look on the floor, I said, "Is that blood?" And then when Lee turns on the wire in the closet, and he sees the bright light behind that wall, and something mysterious that St. John's is hiding when they kept Mark. And when Lee pushes the bookshelf, then when he opens the door, then suddenly Lee cannot believe what he saw. Who's inside, and who's that on the floor? It's Mark. His legs got chopped off, and and Lee wants to know how this happened. It was brothers. When he say brothers, he means Danny and Andy did this. And Mark told him, "Don't eat dinner," because and that's why the rush downstairs and stop Clementine for eating, because now Lee knows what the St. John's did to Mark, and when I choose Clementine, no. And then I choose and like, Lee, Jesus, man, did you find something? And then suddenly and then I choose Mark is upstairs with all his legs cut off. You're eating him. And somehow the group is freaking out, and they get to the point of that he that when I choose you, and like, go upstairs and look. You'll find a guy with both of his legs chopped off. This is a dairy, not a ranch. Think about it. And the St. John's confesses it's true. They're all eating Mark of his legs, and they're eating human meat. It's like, blech. Their plot, because the St. John's plot, their plan is just trade the group for gas and for the generators, and bring the group to their farm, and then eat, and then secretly bring them in the house and chop them up and turn them into food. Like, what kind of sick people are they? Their villain plot is very blech. And suddenly, when Mark fell down the stairs, the whole group sees the truth. Now they believe Lee that they're eating Mark. And now, last but not least, the last on the list on the villains is Vernon. He is a doctor, but he helped Omid throughout the entire time, because he brought the medicine and Crawford, and he likes to help out and such. He's one of the cancer survivors group, and ever since when Kenny working on the boat, and that he's probably the one to get someplace better. And for his plot, his villain plot is that, like, he will take Clementine off Lee's hands and he'll take care of Clem and take her back with him and her group. But I choose to will think about it, because he thinks he's trying to make an offer with Lee and also say to him that getting on the boat with no destination. But then also the most villain plot is that him and his support group stole the boat. When Ben, Krista, Kenny, Lee, and Omid came back from the mansion, and then and when they look at the shed, the boat's gone. It's their only hope, but they took the boat. Vernon and the support group. But that's how, and they just took the boat, and they left. They left Lee, Kenny, they left Lee, Kenny, Krista, Omid, and Ben, and Clementine behind when they took the boat. And Kenny was major mad. He was major mad that Vernon and his support group took the boat. Well, I made those choices, but I mean, what kind of villains they are? If they're like, which one of them is worse? So, anyhow. Anyways, this is all for today. For today, press like, subscribe, and place your comments down below, and also another notification. Okay. So this is all for today. Press like, subscribe, notifications, and place your comments down below, and stay tuned for the next and stay tuned for the next continue the Walking Dead games to review the characters to see the characters on the season 2 of the character review of the Walking Dead season 2, and see what you think of who is much more like, hate, worse, and useless, not prepared, or who's the most villain characters in the Walking Dead games. So I'll see you on the next level, and I'll see you on the next level on the Ready Player Pete show. And good luck, The Walking Dead fans.